Need my coaster. Oh yeah, and I still have this thing on my head. If anyone knows these, they're freaking awesome. Oh yeah. Okay, so good morning. It is morning. It's 9 a.m. People are still waking up in my house. But for some reason, I felt like making breakfast and doing this video with my breakfast was kind of the perfect way to do a winter TBR. As a warning, as usual, I do live in a home with 3 cats, 2 dogs, 1 lizard, and 2 human beings, so there are bound to be noises. This is my winter TBR. Here it is, in all its glory. And we're just gonna go through it. I think there's only one. Oh shit, did I forget to, hold on, I forgot to grab a book. Oopsies. There's only one book in this TBR that I do not own physically, which I guess I'll start with that one. So the first book on the winter TBR is Sword of Kaigen. All I really know about this book is that it is self-pub, was self-pub. It's really hard to keep up with what was self-published and what is no longer, because there are books like The Atlas 6 that was supposedly self-pub but now isn't. And there's even a author that I really like who's also getting his book published through Orbit now. Point is, I know that it was self-pub and that it's about kind of, I'm pretty sure there's a main character who's a mother and something about a war going on, and it's Asian inspired. That's all I really know. To be completely honest, I go into books fairly blindly because if I know too much, I don't know. I feel like if I read too much of blurbs, I feel like I'm already getting too much of the story. Although sometimes I'll read the entirety of a blurb and I'm like, God damn, that sounds great, and I want to know more. I don't know. It depends. I'm weird. What can I say? The next book I'll say, I guess, is the one that I forgot to add in the pile when I was holding up the pile, and that's Ninth Reign by Leigh Bardugo. Fuck, I've had this book forever, and it still has this stupid Barnes & Noble book club sticker. Can I get that off? Is this one of those stupid paper stickers, or is it one of those nicer stickers? Oh, fuck, I think it's one of those stupid paper No! No! Why? Why do people do this? Why? What's the point of doing this? Ninth House. All I know is that this is a dark academia book. The only dark academia book I read was... Fuck, what was that book? It's the same author who wrote The Silent Patient. Oh my gosh, I can't remember his name, but yeah, I think that's like the only dark academia book I read. I have heard really good things about this one, and it just gives off wintry vibes, and I know that the sequel is coming out soon and everyone's super fucking excited about that one. So I'm hoping I really will like it, but I'm also a little dubious because dark academia is not really my thing. I need to go split up my cats again. I will be right back. Where do I put these books when I'm done talking about them? I'm running out of room, people. These books are completely in just some random order. I just put them in a pile, and so yeah, 1 second we'll talk about dark academia books, and the next we're gonna talk about a middle grade book called Knights vs. Dinosaurs. I picked this up at the, what the fuck do they call it? The bookshop thing, the book fair at my school that I work at, and I was never allowed to buy books at book fairs when I was a kid. So when I was at work and the COVID thing was over and they hosted a book fair, I was like, oh my God, I want to buy a book because I was never allowed to when I was a kid. And I picked this up. It sounds freaking hilarious. Just the back of it is, I don't know, it just seems like a very silly adventure with knights, and they end up in fucking dinosaurs. I don't know how it happens. I don't know why it happens, but I'm excited to read it. Notes from the Burning Age by Claire North, I believe. Yep, Claire North. Honestly, I don't even know what this is about anymore, and the blurb is very, very, very long, so maybe a skim? No. Oh yeah, something about a guy who keeps archives, and then there's something called the Burning Age. Climate disaster. I'm literally just skimming and telling you the words that pop out right now. A revolutionary brotherhood, and our main character must decide how far he's willing to go to save the new world and how much he's willing to lose. Yeah, that's all I know. I picked this up a while ago, like, God, maybe last year, the beginning of last year, because it sounded interesting, and then I had it on my shelf and I never picked it up, so I figured winter would be a great idea because I do want to read it. Even if I don't really know what it's about, I still am somehow interested in this book. So Let's hope it works out. A Natural History of Dragons by Marie Brennan. Marie Brennan is one of the 2 authors that writes The Mask of Mirrors, which I fucking love. So I did not know that she wrote this until I heard someone else say that she was one of the authors of The Mask of Mirrors, the Rook and Rose trilogy. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'm even more interested in this book, because previously I was already interested in it, where it's basically about a woman who is like an archaeologist and a researcher on dragons, and in this world there are a lot of dragons. Now I have been told that like it does take an approach that's very scientific towards dragons, where, you know, they dissect them, they study them, and, you know, I actually really like that kind of approach, so I hope I'll like it. It is like a 7-book series, but the books aren't massive, so I'm very interested in it. Forged in the Fallout by Ben Green. This is the first book in a trilogy. The trilogy is already completed. For some reason I thought that it wasn't, but it is. And I've been meaning to pick this up. It is a self-book. It is a self-pub book, and all I know is that it's underground, some kind of underground setting. There's something about like metals and people's ability to do something with the metals. I don't know. And then there's some kind of like secret in the family. I'm not sure if this is young adult or if it is adult, but I am very interested in trying it because it just sounds very interesting. And I'm a sucker for underground settings. I absolutely love those. I think I was a dwarf in a past life. Next is Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. Pretty sure everyone and their fucking mother has already read this book because it's incredibly popular. Although I really don't know much about it. I just know that it's about some girl who has to do like 3 impossible tasks. Why? I'm not sure. I think there's a nun involved. Maybe? I don't know. I've just heard it's very good, and honestly it's quite short. And I've been told it's very funny. It's surprisingly funny. So I am interested. Also, fucking look at these end pages. Like, that's so pretty. My cat is crying in my bedroom because he wants me to let him out, but he keeps on bothering Fiona. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with it right now. I just don't want to deal with it. Next book. We're getting into the chonkier ones now. Engines of Empire. I always get it mixed up. Engines of Empire by R.S. Ford. This is a massive fantasy book. It is the first book in what I think is going to be a trilogy. I'm not entirely sure, but it is very much, you know, the title kind of says it all. There's guilds and industry and mechanical elements to this fantasy world, I'm guessing, or somehow the mechanical side is the magic. I don't know, something like that, maybe. I don't know, I haven't fucking read it. I'm about to find out, right? But I'm kind of assuming it's sort of like very, I'm thinking this is gonna be almost like a, you know how people say political intrigue? I'm thinking this is more gonna be like an economical intrigue, because I feel like the main focus is going to be the guilds and the mechanics and the, I don't know. It's kind of a long blurb on the back, and I'll be honest, I didn't bother reading it very much when I first picked it up, but I'm interested. It seems different. I don't know. I feel like I try to pick up things that are kind of different. Although here I am saying that I'm also gonna read Babel in the winter season. This is the fucking, what's it called? Waterstone? I think that's it. The Waterstone edition of it, where it's very shiny, and it has the like black sprayed edges. But Babel, if you don't already know about it, what fucking rock are you living under? Because even I know about it, and I'm not a very well-informed person when it comes to popular books and things. It's a dark academia. It's written by R.F. Kuang, who, as we know, now I have finished her Poppy War trilogy, and I was not a big fan. So I'm really hoping that I do enjoy this, but I'm also a little apprehensive because it is quite large. But Babel mostly has to do with languages and kind of, you know, the translations of them and the use of languages. I know that it's very centered around that, and as being a trilingual person, I'm hoping that it really does interest me, because language is a big part of my life. I was gonna drink my tea, and then I realized this book is heavy. Take a bite out of my breakfast too, you know, I made it. Might as well fucking eat it. The next book is The Book Eaters by Sunyi Dean, and this is a debut novel by the author. This is, how did I get this book? Was it, I think I got this on Waterstones too, because it also has the black sprayed edges. First of all, I fucking love the cover. It looks so cool. I think it's gorgeous. But this book is, well, I'm pretty sure it's about people who eat books. I think they physically eat books, actually, and that's how they consume knowledge, or that's how they stay alive. It is a horror book, and what mainly attracted me to it was that I saw V.E. Schwab said that she devoured this, and I was like, haha, funny, I like it, I'm gonna buy it. But yeah, that's kind of it, and the back even says it. Once there was a mother who fed on stories and would do anything to survive. Like, it has an interesting premise, and I've seen a few people who have read it who've really liked it, so I'm hoping that I will like it too. And that's it. That's it. That's all the books that I'm hoping to get to in the winter season, which for me is like, winter technically officially starts on the East Coast of the United States of America in mid-December is when it starts, and it ends mid-March. So I have like basically 3 months to read all these books. And it, you know, I don't make a massive pile because in case I do feel like throwing in some other reads, and because winter is technically also the beginning of a new year, but I'm gonna be adding like new goals and series that I might want to start, so I might slip in some other books into this pile that I may not have originally thought of. Do I think I'm gonna stick to this pile 100%? Can we just all agree that all book lovers really love just holding a big heavy stack of books even though we can barely fucking lift it? Oh my god, actually yeah, I'm struggling. I mean, it's a pretty decent pile, I will say. I'm quite proud of it. I cannot hold this. Okay, do I think that I will read all of this in the month of, what am I talking about? Do I think I'm gonna read all of this in December? Why did I say month and then I said December? I'm fucking stupid. Do I think I'm going to read all of this in the winter season? Yeah, actually I do. I am quite confident in myself. I do think that I can do this. Let me know what you're reading in the winter season or a particular month if you want to let me know about that. Also, if you've read any of these books, do you think that I should prioritize that book? Because I will. If you say, hey, read this one ASAP, I'll probably do it. So yeah, anyways, thanks for hanging out. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.